Hello, everybody. Hello. How are you today? Good afternoon. I'm Randyl, and welcome to the Bob Randall and Company live show. This is Monday. Monday. Can you believe it's Monday already? July 18th, 2020. This year's going by so fast. Only 160 days left till Christmas. 160. And most Santas start probably the beginning of November, so 110 days till November 5th to most Santas be starting. And of course, we can't forget the man, the legend that started everything. Bob McMaster's right with us here. He's driving in, and he'll tell you about where he's driving in from. Way, Bob.
Yeah, thanks, Randy. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, we're coming in, of course, from the School of Santas up in Branson, Missouri, and we're in Oklahoma, town called Atoka. Many of you may know where it's at. It's south central part of the state here. We're maybe an hour and 45 minutes away from home, and was worried. We pulled into one place here, Love's Truck Stop across the street, had no bars. Came across the street to the Pilot, and we got a little bit of bars, but my granddaughter's phone has a Wi-Fi hotspot on it. So I linked through that to link into the show. So thank you for the introduction, Randy. I think you're too kind there, though, brother.
Yeah, I'm just glad you could make it. Really cool that you sat alongside, and after it's an incredible weekend at the school. It's how can I say it? Party City with Spangle there and nonstop. Can you just
Absolutely? You know, we rolled in there. Yeah, we rolled in there early last week and helped get everything set up, and it was right down to the morning for opening festivities to start, and got everything done. It was a great event. Everyone did well. Mr. Ron Lane, who is also a vendor, said that was one of his better vending excursions that he's had in quite some time. So, and the other vendors all felt the same way. And I'm sure I didn't get a chance to speak to Spangle after last night, but I'm sure he was happy with everything that happened. I know he was dog tired. He went up earlier than the rest of us last night. There was a handful of us that stayed behind and was still putting things away, but fantastic time, man. I tell you, it was so much fun. One thing I do gotta say is we had some really nice weather. We had rain last night up there. We've been in the upper 80s and mid 90s. Right here in Atoka, right now I'm sitting here in the sun at 102.
102.
102.
Okay. Ouch, 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 ouch. Back home in Michigan, where I'm from, and I'm on little further south in Florida right now, so it's only in the upper 80s down here today. It's fantastic in Florida today. It's fantastic, but not as warm as 102. Well, that's crazy. That's
102. It's real 5. So time we get to Dallas, who knows how warm it'll be? Because the further south you go, the warmer it usually gets.
Oh my! We got a bunch of people saying hi. I wish the Facebook users how are you doing? Well, they have a little question that says, how are you doing? I hope we're all doing great. We're doing great. Hope you're doing well too.
Yeah, wish we could get away from that Facebook user stuff, but through StreamYard, half the time that's the way it displays it to us. So, and the problem is, as you know, Randy, if you're over on Facebook, it shows your name, so you don't know that your name's not coming up until you make that comment. And if you happen to make a comment here in the show and you realize that your name is coming up as Facebook user, just throw your name in there for us. There you go. Looks like it's Santa Adam.
Great to hear from you, Santa Adam. Santa Adam, I'm glad you're here this afternoon. Glad you're here. Got so many things coming up in this Tuesday night show, of course. So many things. But first we need to do is, of course, isn't it trivia time?
It is trivia time. Run with it, Randy.
It's trivia.
Hey everyone, Elf Angela Mack here for Bob and Company Live. The show about nothing. Bob and Company Live is brought to you by Santa's Closet. Santa's Closet has been delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since 2004. Santa's Closet's main goal is to provide both a superior customer experience with tremendous value for their customers. Santa's Closet brings more than 400 separate products to the Claus community at a reasonable price. Don't forget to check out their sister site, MrsClausJewels.com, where Mrs. Claus Janice is a leading supplier for Mrs. Claus, elves, and Santa jewelry, knickknacks, and accessories. Both Tom and Janice are passionate about exceeding your expectations, bringing you products of unparalleled quality and design. Visit their sites at santascloset.org and mrsclausjewels.com. This is Angela Mack reminding you to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Welcome back, everybody. It is trivia time. Trivia time. Glad you guys are watching. It's a great question. People have been asked this question for years. Here it is, folks. How many gifts in total were given in the 12 Days of Christmas song? How many gifts were in total given out at the 12 Days of Christmas in that song? It's a pretty unique answer, really. If you really break it down, when you get it and you hear that number, it's pretty kind of a coincidence in a way. It really is. But it's again offered by, of course, ClausNet puts a great sponsor together. Got a great gift coming out. They do a great job for the show here on Monday. You get a question, and of course, don't forget the Scott Parker rule. Can't win for 30 days, right, Bob?
That's correct. And Scott won last Tuesday night Spangles trivia question, so he's back in timeout.
Scott's back in timeout. So if you haven't won in 30 days on Monday, please answer. It's a great question and a classic that Santa and everybody should know. And kind of, like I said, a unique number that kind of makes you think for a minute. How does that correlate?
Well, that's the thing about it, when you stop and think about as the song progresses and then you add all that up, it is a unique answer.
It's how does that come to that number? But it does, and of course that's what it does. So everybody think about the question, type in the answers. Of course, if you have to Google it or get the calculator out, but get those fingers typing, and you have some numbers on there. But note how many gifts were given in total. Well, it was 12 days, but yeah, that's great. So
you got to think about what each day adds up to. That's correct.
Each day
got to find out the total number.
Total number. So we have so many things coming up. Of course, tomorrow night, Tuesday Night Live. We guys have some fantastic guests coming up. Incredible. Of course, tomorrow night is such a unique guest because he comes all the way. Well, he comes from Washington, D.C., right? Or Washington State, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
I've been busy all week and I haven't been able to work as well. I really hadn't been able to work on the show any at all this week. So
okay.
But
Darren Collins is the guest tomorrow night I believe he's from Washington, but he is now the Santa in Kenya.
Yeah, yes, he is from Washington, somewhere around the Seattle area. You're correct.
Yeah.
And
it'll be such a unique show tomorrow night to listen to a Santa that's taken the experience of being Santa, and training other Santas in Mumbai. Is that how you pronounce that? It's Kenya. I'm some of those unique words I don't get, but it's in Kenya. So that's crazy. That's fantastic.
Yeah, as soon as I get to the house this afternoon, I've got to reach out, coordinated, and everything's going to, time-wise, going to line up for him and all. But
we got some more numbers coming up there. But Joe, not quite the number yet, Joe. It's a little higher than that, Joe. Actually, remember, add up all the gifts from each day on the 12 days.
Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard my phone ringing or not. My phone over the car here was ringing.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. You're on the road. You gotta have that with you. So of course, then the following week, tomorrow is of course the 19th. The following week coming up is the 26th, and that's Bruce. Bruce Guerin, as most people know him as, or He's a professor at the University of Ontario or Canada. He's a professor there. Great with voice. In fact, next year he's going to do what is it, Carnegie Hall. In fact, he's going to be there again next year, I believe. Phenomenal Santa, just beautiful. You know, he's always wonderful to listen to, and how to take care of your voice during the holiday season and everything else. So just a couple of great guests. Of course, great guests to the end of the year, of course. What else, Bob? You got something? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that also when I get to the house, I've got to try to put together the footage that we took. We've got some videos, the Joan Rivers interview that I couldn't download from the hotel that we tried but couldn't get to load. And then Elvis last night was phenomenal. Took a couple of videos of him. And then we've got some still shots from some of the shows that we went to. I'm going to try to put together, get with Angela Mack when we get home and get that ready for tomorrow night's show if we can.
Wow, that'll be a quick turnaround for some cool things to see about the week. Of course, the classes, you said there was so many great classes in Branson. I mean, just so many things to learn. And of course, wasn't the Nana class there too? Was that going on that?
Santa Nana did 2 days of which is Deanna Golden and Judith Broderick did 2 days of curriculum. We had Derek Dugan do an hour presentation that he's done a time or two, but fantastic information. If you ever get a chance to check out what Derek puts up on the intellectual property and marketing and some other things that he is really good at, that was phenomenal. We had Stuart Deacon Jr. He did a video session because he couldn't make it either, so he came in via video. Fantastic. Jessica Rosa, the renowned Santa photographer, she did her session on different things. We had Rex Ray do a presentation on chairs, Santa chairs, and positioning, posture. Really cool presentation that he put together that was on the big screen that he done. So yeah, fantastic weekend. I think everyone, I know this morning, everybody's eyes were very droopy and everyone was very low energy. The event was over. It's time to pack up and go home. And that's always the hardest. It's just trying to get everything back in your vehicle and get back on the road.
But I mean, what a time. I mean, what a fellowship with everybody and just, I mean, learning experience. I mean, it can be overkill. I mean, like overload sometimes, but nothing but fun. I mean, so many things you're going to learn and the connection. I mean, it was 100 plus. You said there was there for the
there was over 100 paying students, and then with for the lack of a better term, what they use in some portions of barbacks or roadies, or I mean, I don't know what you would call us, but Spangle's crew that helped put everything together and tear down and yeah.
Wow.
And I got to mention Melissa Lynn, Santa Mel Rickard, church service yesterday morning, a 30-minute service, but man, it was over the top. Fantastic job she does. Well, of course, you know, she's an ordained minister, so really did a great job.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's one, like I said, she did a prayer service at our Jingle Joy up in Muskegon, Michigan. We had from Maps last in June. So yeah, that's fantastic. That's it.
Well, and we had some of your fellow Maps folks attend. Kathy Fick, you know, she was there, and
Kathy she goes to pretty much everything now. Kathy likes to travel a lot.
Yep, and so it was a great turnout. Really, a lot of really great people there. And of course, then we talked about the breakfast bar and the dessert bar. We were really disappointed when we got there. Wyndham has bought that location, so they did away with the cobbler, man. I don't understand. The cobbler was the biggest hit of all. They still got the cookies and the ice cream. Now they had. What's that, Randy?
It was too big of a hit. People ate too much of it if it was sit on the buffet time. It was too big of a hit. They saw Santa's coming, and it's like, that goes down.
We're gonna take a hit on this one. Don't put it out. But they did bake fresh cookies every afternoon, and they had the ice cream machine was still there. The only thing there, again, a little bit of a disappointment disappointment for those of us who like chocolate. All they had was vanilla,
Ah,
but it's the soft serve, so it was really good.
that's great. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just still the week. Week had to be just phenomenal, and such. It's like I said, such memories, and uh, good time. I
Now,
hope that it'd be great to make it next year. We hope to make
yes, and he's already got 30 people signed up from this year that's already signed up for next year. That he gives the opportunity there at the class to go ahead and sign up. I don't know if he done the early bird discount this year or not, but in the past he has. And he announced Sunday night who next year's headliner is going to be, and this is going to probably surprise some folks. Mr. Ed Taylor will be your
Wow,
headliner next year.
wow, Mr. Ed Taylor's going to
Yep,
be here.
Ed's mainly online, but he's gonna step out, come to Branson, and be the headliner next year. So
Wow, that'll be an interesting information about him talking about his. I don't know if he's going to talk about his, acting things. How many, because his resume is pretty long when it comes to his acting and in movies and commercials and everything else. It's a pretty
it
long.
is, and I had the complete list, but I packed it away, so I don't know who else is coming. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
he's got 6 or 7 other folks coming along to do some presentations also, as he always does.
It'll be another
But
winner again next year.
Yeah, but that'll be the headliner. So
Wow.
that, like I said, that may surprise some people that Ed's going to travel across and do that. Now, not really that he has never done it before, because I know he done it for Rick Rosenthal over at Northern Lights, and he's also done presentations at the ISC in Denver and also in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So it's not uncharacteristic for him to get out and do that, but
But
going to be interesting.
yeah, that's great. Then people can decide if getting your reservations in early. Look, there's over 100 this year. I'm sure they can only handle so many each year. So I don't know what the
That's
cutoff
true.
is.
Now, Spangle did mention to me that if he sold out early, that he might add a second back-to-back school.
Wow.
Which now you're going from 4.5 days to 9 days. I don't know if this boy can handle all that. I had a hard time just keeping up this time,
Wow. Yeah, that would be overload and exhaustion.
Oh yeah. Well, and we did have one Santa last night. We done something that Spangle done something last night that we've never done at the School of Santas. He had Jessica Rosa choose 5 of us Santas and 2 Mrs. Clauses from the group. We went up front and we had an hour-long Q&A. Any question, any topic, just and it was probably one of the highlights of the weekend. But the very first Santa stood up and he says, well, maybe next year let's see if we can cut back a little bit. 4.5 days and 2 shows and getting up, being in here at 7 in the morning and not getting in bed till midnight, and so he was kind of saying it was a little bit too much. But the way I see that, Randy, is nobody says you have to be there. I understand you pay your money, but if you get tired, go back to the room, take a nap. A lot of guys do that. And if you don't want to go to one of the shows, then don't go to one of the shows. Just tell Spangle in the beginning, I can't make Saturday night show, but I'd love to go on Friday night, or vice versa. And so there's choices. There's always choices.
And the price is just really, for what you get, is really, really incredible. I mean, for all your meals, and the education and the shows for a great price. I mean, well, your meals are lunch and dinner, Spangle says, because breakfast is in the hotel is free anyway. So that's,
yeah.
So
yes,
I wouldn't
exactly. And he has that whole conference center. He books that whole conference center. It has 2 kitchens. They let him use both kitchens. He had 5 people on staff in the kitchen, plus my granddaughter filled in 2 days, helping one night serve food, another night helping prepare food. Plus, like I say, 10 or 12 of us that are, behind the scenes trying to help him, pull this off each year.
It takes a lot of elves behind the scenes for that type of operation. It really does.
Yes, it does. It surely does. Sure does.
Everybody that does that, you know.
Uh-huh.
Everybody does.
So I don't know if Angela can drop in with us and tell us if she's got a winner on a trivia question or not.
I think I saw a winner on the thing. I think I saw one, Angela, there.
We have a winner.
I thought I saw one there. Scroll on the comments.
Joe Steffen.
Joe got it right. Again, like I said, it's
How
kind
about
of a
that?
crazy number. Comes to 364. You know,
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something? I mean, a year that, like I said, must not be leap year. That's so, but that's so close to a year. That's crazy. It really is. It's kind of like, what kind of connection is there to those 12 days of Christmas?
I like to do that again. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
Sure.
It is kind of like even the odd thing about, you know, playing cards are odd. I always think it's odd about there's 52 weeks, there's 52 cards. There's 4 suits, there's 4 seasons. Same thing. You add up all the deck, the numbers in the cards, it comes to 365.
I know,
it is
isn't it
kind of
crazy?
weird also. So another weird mathematical thing. It really is. So
Today's weird mathematical thing from Randy Santa Chickerlee.
It'd be other weird things probably, knowing that. Yes, it would.
Yeah, I'm sure the world is full of weird things, right?
Oh man, it's scary.
For sure.
Scary.
Yeah.
I just flew down Florida the other day, and people flying. The people around the airport. My goodness. Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Well, you know, we're surprised to see as many folks on the road. I mean, you would think with the price of gas, of course, we got our cheapest gas on the way in this afternoon. We paid $3.79.
Wow.
And that was the cheapest we saw the whole time. In Branson, we paid $4.39, something like that. So a big difference.
Yeah, up in Michigan, we're I think I paid last. I was $4.89 was the last thing I paid, and then down here I just filled up a tank yesterday and it was $4.35, which was I think that's exciting. You know, go back home, it'll be 50 cents a gallon plus when I go back home again.
Wow, that's crazy. Yes, I'm looking across at the Loves here. It's $4.19. I believe it's the same thing here at the Pilot that we're at. But that's, you know, it varies, and you kind of try to wonder how do they do that. Well, I know a lot of folks say, well, it's a product that's traded on the commodity, you know, daily, and it depends on when you get your load, what time of day you get your load, where the prices are at that particular moment. But
and also
there's quite a variation.
Each state has their own taxes too. I know, like I'm from Michigan, we have very high, you know, gas taxes that goes to. So each state also has that also. Well,
that's what we found out too. Oklahoma has more of a road tax or a gas tax than Missouri does. That's why we were able to going in. We seen it for $3.99. As soon as we crossed out of Oklahoma into Missouri, it was $3.99, which was about 15-20 cents cheaper than what we've been seeing. So that's about, you know, what the tax is on it.
Wow, Joe, you're still paying $4.99. What are you from, Joe? You can type in Joe Stefan. What state are you from? I'm curious. Where you're still paying $4. Oh, is Illinois. I'm sorry, IL. There we go. I see it. Illinois is still paying almost $5, and of course we don't know what's going on the West Coast there. If they're still paying $6 and $7 and $8 a gallon.
Oh yeah, you know Santa Tom, who watches our Tuesday Night Live and our Monday shows religiously. That's THOM, Santa Tom. We were talking this weekend, and he says they're paying at least $1 more in the Washington State up there than what we have been paying here in the central part of the United States. So they're, you know, if it's $4.99, they're looking at $5.99, $6.50 over there on the West Coast, depending on where they're at.
That's scary. It's scary when you know, in some cars, what is a max car gets an average of 22 miles to the gallon, right? You know, that's probably what they get. That adds up real quick.
Unless it's a hybrid.
Yeah,
if it's a hybrid, they get a little more than that. But yeah, it's you know, and what brought us to this point was how many people are still traveling. You know, I can't tell that travel's down any at all. Matter of fact, I had heard, you know, over the 4th of July weekend that more folks were going to go by car this year because of the airlines cancellations and delays that they've been having with pilot staffing and that sort of thing. And so I think that is, you know, people are just going to live their life. I mean, somewhere it's got to boil to a head because we can't keep on sustaining this for long term. But for right now, folks are just doing their thing.
I mean, we were totally locked down for 2 years, but it was crazy. I mean, the amount of how so people now just want to get out so bad after the basically 2 years. So you got a little more freedom. It's like, look out of my way. I'm getting out.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I was both of my flights coming down to Florida. I had right on time. Thank goodness, right on time. So
that's a plus in that industry. Now, if you said I didn't hear, again, I'm in the vehicle and I'm not as focused as I should be. But are you down there doing a magic show or something?
Yeah, I'm doing some entertainment down here. Yes, I am. So,
what part of Florida are you at right now?
City called Jensen Beach. Just is about 2 hours, about an hour and a half north of Fort Lauderdale, right on the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, very nice.
Beautiful,
very
beautiful
nice.
Area. I got the sunburn to show it real quick from the ocean yesterday. Real quick. Boy, that northern skin of mine burns real fast.
Yeah, I imagine. I can see where it would. It sure would.
Yeah, I'm not like you. You get sun and you get heat all there in Texas.
Yeah. That's if I go out.
That's if you go out.
I try not to get out in the sun as much as I used to. Yeah, I had a spot on my back I had to have removed, and doctor says you need to cover up. Well, darn it, 105, 106, 107 with a heat index of 110. It's hard to put a long sleeve shirt on and a big hat.
Really is. That'll wipe you out even quicker.
Yeah, it will. It sure will. So I just, the heat of the day, I stay inside.
Yeah, this air conditioning is a good invention. Air conditioning is a great invention. So
yes, it is. And we have talked about this many times amongst friends and family, but how in the world did the pioneers travel for 8, 10, 12 months going from the East Coast to the West Coast, across the mountains, across the Rockies, across the Sierra Nevadas, and across all those deserts with Indians chasing them in a covered wagon? And most of the time, you didn't ride in the covered wagon unless you was in the buckboard. You walked. Oh my gosh, our pioneers were so tough.
They were tough, but then again, what was life expectancy at that age? Though life expectancy wasn't in the 30s or 40s. I mean, that was their age expectancy. So I think
they lived hard.
Themselves out when they were in their 30s or 40s. I don't think they lasted.
Exactly.
No, I mean even the physical stuff they did. I'm sorry, I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to work.
We don't have to anymore, right?
I know national team. I shouldn't have said that to everybody out there, but no, not for me. That's. I'm glad I wasn't in the old-fashioned Wild West days either, with the guns and the riding the horses and yeah.
Well, I used to think I was born in the wrong era because that's all that is on at our house, Westerns. But I happened to find out this weekend that we're not the only ones. Rex Ray, that's all he watches. Various other folks we were talking in that breakfast room at night after the school was over, where they were supposed to have cobbler and didn't. But we would sit in there and chat, and that was one of the topics we talked about this week is how many folks still watch the black and white Westerns, Gunsmoke, and even beyond that.
I still watch Lone Ranger every week. I watch Lone Ranger every week. I'm sorry. He was the very first superhero. The Lone Ranger was. He was the very first superhero before, Superman, before all the other guys. I mean, and, he had a Detroit radio show, Clayton Moore was the Detroit radio show with the Lone Ranger. So he kind of has a local connection, but I still watch him. Of course, they're definitely 99% all black and white. The Lone Ranger.
Mm-hmm. Cool part was, though, he had a sidekick that was, full-blood Native American. And, I still, even to this day, call folks sometimes. I say, what's going on, Kemosabe?
Wow. Up in Detroit, they wouldn't know what you're talking about. They would take offense to that probably or something. They would like, what language are you speaking?
Yeah, exactly. What kind of foreign language is that? Well, all right, Randy, we've been on here, looks like a little over 30 minutes. You're about ready to wrap it up?
I'm ready. We want to do a quick little bit of the Santa shorts. Does she have that?
That's correct. That's next. Yes, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great. Zimbabwe. hello, everybody. It is Apart from Santa Shorts. A brief look, a brief peek into the world of Santa and Mrs. Claus, everybody. Actually, everybody, this is Joy.
Hi.
Her name really is Joy, everybody.
Really
So
is.
it had to work. It worked perfectly, everyone. Joy just joining me here because she does Mrs. Claus. You want to tell the folks how long you've been Mrs. Claus? We'll get started on Santa's briefs.
I have been Mrs. Claus for 10 years.
See, that's the cool thing about what I want to talk about in Santa Shorts is the branding of Santa and even the branding of Mrs. Claus. The idea about Mrs. Claus, years ago was just making cookies and just, being Santa's little person right next to Santa.
Mhm.
That has changed so much. We can change that. Such a big thing about Mrs. Claus. Mrs. Claus can do balloon sculpturing. A super talent, not just doing storytelling, not just baking cookies. In fact, I think it's really great. Of course, everybody knows about Santa can be a storyteller too. But I love when Mrs. Claus can take that moment with the children and read a poem. In fact, I'm going to let Joy read you a poem that she actually wrote. So here we are.
The name of the poem is Christmas Eve. Imagine we take the special reindeer food and sprinkle it all around. Even when it's snowing, we see glitter on the ground. Santa feeds the reindeer before the long sleigh ride. And sometimes he has to look for Rudolph because Rudolph likes to hide. The smell of cookies baking will guide them on their way, and everyone will be excited because it's Christmas Day.
See, that's what Mrs. Claus can do when it comes to, and I'm going to take it all the way back to the branding idea. Mrs. Claus does not just have to be the baking of the cookies. She can read poetry. Of course, she can read The Night Before Christmas. See, like this Night Before Christmas book, this is actually made out of material, which is good. You can take it one step further, Mrs. Claus. She's a seamstress. That she even made the book. There's so many things you can take and add to the branding. And what I mean by branding is then specialize in what your character Santa or Mrs. Claus does. Like I go as the magical Santa. Just love to make magic happen. We can make magic happen out of anything for the children. And of course, I'm doing a magical thing as Santa, but I'm not doing magic, of course. But that's what branding is. Take your character as Santa. If you're a singer, if you're you like to play a ukulele, you're a storyteller. Storytelling is fantastic, of course, as Santa. Those are wonderful things to do. But take that and express it even more. Just really show people that that's the Santa they're getting, not just the Santa that sits there and says, "What would you like for Christmas?" Show how magical you are. Show you can sing. Show you can read or tell a story. Or like I said, bring your Mrs. Claus along. She can twist balloons for the children. That is the most popular inflatable toy ever, the balloon. It's an inflatable toy. Get it? I know. But of course, she can read a story. She can do the things, the cookies and crafts. But take that specialty that Mrs. Claus or Santa has and put it on your website. Let people know that you're unique. You're different than the other Santas and Mrs. Clauses, or when you go together. Really take that and brand yourself. There's a Santa I know that loves trains. He wears the choo-choo train hat and really talks about trains a lot. Somebody loves an airplanes that knows everything about airplanes and flying. That's Santa, of course, puppetry. But then specialize in that and really, really advertise that that's who you are, above and beyond just being Santa and Mrs. Claus. But brand that who you are. I just think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But I just wanted Joy to come on and say hello and to read a poem, because poetry can be a fantastic thing. And the children want to listen, of course, to Mrs. Claus. They're always mesmerized by Mrs. Claus. And so is there something, why don't you tell them, I guess I'll ask this question instead of telling them. We're going to tell them anyway, think about it. What is your favorite part about being Mrs. Claus?
Well, of course, I love the children, and they're just so darn cute. And every year I look forward to interacting with the kids. But yeah, of course, Santa.
Okay,
I love baking shortbread cookies for you.
Folks, I'm going to laugh right now. You know that, don't you? She doesn't even bake this Mrs. Claus. Go ahead.
I think I'm pretty good, but.
Oh, guys, I just want to thank you so much. But please take the time as Santa and Mrs. Claus to think about what you truly enjoy. If it's singing, if it's playing music, if it's twisting balloons, if it's doing magic, if it's telling stories, make that your specialty. And then, make your look maybe to do with it, make your website to go along with it, and everything else. I want to thank you again so much. Of course, Bob, amazing that you peeked in. Please, please, please stay safe driving home. You've got a long drive. Get some shut eye. I know you've had a long, long week. Angela, again, as always, thank you for putting this all together. Everybody else, from me, and Bob's going to say it in just a minute too. From me, I hope everybody stays healthy, stays magical, and stays safe. Bob?
Very true. And see, we do the Bob Randyl and Company. So perfect segment. Santa Shorts. I love it. Fantastic job, both of you. Thank you guys. And like I say, we're an hour and 45 minutes or so from home. Got to unload when we get there. Of course, put everything away, work on the show, but I promise I'll get in bed early tonight.
Good. Get some rest. Everybody again.
All right, on behalf of myself and my daughter, granddaughter, and wife who's here with me, Joy Randyl, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Stay safe. Bye.
Thanks, Angela.
Thanks, Angela. Bye-bye, everybody. See you tomorrow night.
Bye. See y'all
Bye, Angela.
later.
Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.